Hello and welcome back to week 3 in the series Since You Don't Ask Me. And what a week it's been for politics here in Northern Ireland. Up at Stormont, Speaker William Hay, a man surely destined for the ermine of the Lords, given the amount of accommodation he's provided to his pals in IRA Sinn Féin, took exception to TUV leader Jim Allister making a joke and ensured that he could not speak in the chamber for a week. Given that the Assembly itself is a joke, with most members unable to string together a couple of coherent sentences, I would have thought that Hay would have welcomed anything that enhanced the contribution of debate. But then again, you have to remember that this is the only political chamber in the democratised world which actively prohibits any voice or form of opposition. If Hay can't handle one voice, what chance would he have if there were dozens of voices of opposition? Meanwhile, UVF terror chief Gusty Spence died, and immediately the eulogies began for this convicted killer. Nowadays it's considered good form to hail all the terrorists as men of peace in this strange Orwellian world in which we live in. So it is that Spence was presented as some sort of latter-day loyalist cross between Gandhi and Mother Teresa. Of course, he did apologise for the evil deeds of the UVF, but words are cheap, and the fact is that the UVF remained armed and active years after his pious words. To my mind, the UDA, UVF and IRA are all the same, monstrous parasites feeding off their host communities, offering nothing to anyone but imposing fear and terror and rancid intolerance. Can you imagine how the media would treat the death of a McGuinness or an Adams? I can only imagine the BBC would instantly adopt black armbands with solemn music being played on the hour every hour. In these days of the one-parent family, the Stormont executive steps in to fill the void. We've seen it run up £127,000 campaign to warn us of the dangers of salt. It's been there to stop actors using cigarettes on stage, lest they corrupt impressionable minds. It's been there to force cyclists to wear helmets. And now it seeks to reduce the drink-drive limit, whilst entirely ignoring the fact that the vast majority of drink drivers are twice over the official limit. It strikes me that Stormont isn't capable of doing anything positive, but it has the competence to punish, to ban, and to impose itself and limit our freedoms. Furthermore, under the current little Ulster nationalist regime, it continually seeks to shy away from the greater part of the United Kingdom being England and align itself instead with Scotland, a country run by a party committed to ending the Union. I can fully understand why Irish nationalists would follow this route, but why would Unionists? Business leaders reacted with dismay to the news that from Finance Minister Sammy Wilson that despite the fact he'd promised them corporation tax cuts, on reflection that wouldn't be happening. I'm surprised that they're surprised. The role of DUP politicians is to tell people what they want to hear, in particular before an election, lavishly package this up in the expectation that our eunuch media will not probe too deeply. Then, once back into power, they casually abandon the solemn promises and pledges. This presents them with no pain since they have no principles. Business leaders should really understand that the only jobs that matter are those of the on-the-make political parasites. See you next week.